What's up, guys? Got another movie review for you. Another episode of Lou's Reviews. Can you imagine if I kept introducing videos like that? Lou's Reviews. Oh my god. I got too much time on my hands. Alright, so, what are we talking about today? Alright, Day of the Dead. 1985's Day of the Dead. And I like this one. This one's fun. So it's the third of the Living Dead trilogy, franchise, however you put it, from George A. Romero. He's the guy that kind of brought us these great films, such as Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, Martin, Night Riders, Monkey Shines. You get the idea. But yeah, he's cool. I still wish he was around making great films. So anyway, Day of the Dead was the third in the franchise. George Romero would go on to do other zombie movies that we're not going to talk about, but because I guess he tried to reboot the franchise, make it fresh again. I don't know, but this one is peak zombiness, and for a lot of reasons, I feel like George had a little more control. While Night, he didn't, was just cutting his teeth, kind of, sort of. Dawn of the Dead was it's still independent, but studio happy. And there's I don't know, 10 cuts of it. There's an Italian cut, a German cut, a director's cut, a rough cut. This one, straightforward. What you see is what you get. By this point in the timeline of George Romero's Living Dead universe, the zombies are more decayed, and not just pale blue. That's all from a spectacular effects team that we all know. Obviously, George's partner in crime, Tom Savini, who he brings an associate along with him, who actually stars in the film too, Greg Nicotero. Greg Nicotero was also the guy who is kind of behind the whole Walking Dead. Didn't create The Walking Dead, but the sometimes director, producer. He overlooks the special effects, and he was kind of Tom Savini's assistant toward this. And Howard Berger, who him and Robert Kirkman and Greg would all make K&B effects, which a lot of the horror movies you guys watch. 9 times out of 10, you'll see an effects group called K&B. That's Greg Nicotero's group. Greg Nicotero being responsible for, majority of The Walking Dead. But yeah, this is why the effects are out of this world, great, very creative sometimes. But yeah, so what makes this one special, right? So you got Bub. Bub's like a zombie that one of the scientists in this film try to make behave. He tries to, I guess, kind of give him some humanity back, and it's pretty cool. It works. You wouldn't think it would work, but it works, and it's fun, and definitely a great little surprise at the end there. The whole base of the story pretty much is you have scientists and military personnel that are constantly arguing at each other's throats. The scientists obviously think like philosophers. They want to try and find a reason, a cure, and maybe tame the zombies if possible. The military want a better way of exterminating them. And when these ideas come to a head and they conflict, and when both sides stop listening to each other, that's when the real action begins, and pretty much all hell breaks loose. Everything from the place it was shot, the atmosphere, I know I say that word a lot, the music, the settings, it's great. Even the people that acted in it, it's all fun. And I really enjoy this one. Like I said, out of the whole, this is right up there with Day. I love Dawn. I love Dawn of the Dead, and its remake. But something because Day I watched the very very least of, and last because I just couldn't get my hands on it. The other movies I felt were more accessible, and This one, for whatever reason, had a hard time coming, um, my way, and I'm so glad I ran to it. I have a really cool special edition. There's so many more better special editions. I think, um, who put one out? Shout Factory, I think, put out a really decent Blu-ray with all the bells and whistles, commentary, updated, behind the scenes footage, and it's really cool. Everything about this movie, it's great. If you suspend your reality, and if you have a little inkling of faith in zombies, and if they might exist, this is probably the outcome. This is the downfall of civilization, and important people too, like the military and scientists trying to. Normally, they would kind of co-op with each other, but in this case, they're at each other's throats because the situation's bleak and stagnant. So they have to kind of come with ideas, and both sides can't really fit. So there you go. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, the effects. Oh man, it's so much fun. It's not. I mean, it's not over the top. It's not done in that silly manner. Like I said, it's not as commercial as the original Dawn of the Dead, but Day of the Dead, it's like every zombie movie that George made from late '60s, '70s, and '80s. They just worked, and yeah, George's touches all over this thing. Obviously, it's his film, so there is political commentary in here. It's done very tasteful. I think it's great. Um, could I nitpick and single all the stuff out that if there's a message behind this? I don't know. It's a movie that takes place post zombie apocalypse, and a bunch of nerdy scientists and hardened military guys want to come up with a solution, but they can't stand each other in the same room. Imagine being locked in the same room with someone you never met before, but you think you could relate to, but turns out it's absolutely nothing. Yeah, or like being locked in a room with a bad relationship. That's what the characters in this film go through. That's their story arcs there. And the ending is really, really cool. I love it how it's situation's still bleak. There's no taming these undead zombies, but you can always fly off in a helicopter and land on an island, a tropical island. Live the rest of your life. At least that's what the ending here is. Telling people to do. But it's great. Special effects. It's just like a well-rounded zombie movie. And if you don't care about, because really you don't need to watch Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead to, so if anything, George Romero sets it up in the beginning of Night. This is what's going to happen now and influence the rest of these movies. But other than that, there's really not that much of a connection, except George Romero's taste. But I don't know. Like I said, it's very enjoyable. It's really cool. Just enough gore and blood and guts that you would want out of these kind of movies. And at the end of the day, it's very entertaining. Yeah, that's really. I'm trying to think what else could I cover. I believe it was shot in Pittsburgh. I think the majority of George Romero's earlier movies were shot in his hometown of Pittsburgh, which gives it a very industrial vibe to it, I guess. But nonetheless, Day of the Dead, 1985, because there's a lot. Day of the Dead, so many remakes, it's ridiculous. But it's a fun ride. I totally recommend it. And if you like zombie movies, then this is definitely your movie. Alright, guys, that's all I gotta say. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys are all doing well. And God willing, I'll see you guys very, very soon. Alright, take care. Peace.